We all know Van Gogh wasn't a scientist. So, how is it possible that the sky in Starry Night mimics the complex physics of turbulence? What if this painting doesn't just show emotion, but a pattern that has fascinated mathematicians for centuries? In 2004, a group of physicists at the National Autonomous University of Mexico made a surprising discovery. When analyzing the spiraling patterns of light and motion in Starry Night, they found something that shocked the scientific world. The painting visually resembles a mathematical model of fluid turbulence. More specifically, the statistical patterns of turbulence described by Russian mathematician Andrei Kolmogorov in the 1940s. How is that possible? Van Gogh had no background in physics. He had no access to equations or simulations. And yet, his brushstrokes in Starry Night seem to reflect the exact way energy cascades through swirling, chaotic fluids. Let's break it down. Turbulence is one of the most complex phenomena in nature. It appears in crashing waves, storm clouds, even in the plasma on the surface of stars. It's chaotic, but not random. Turbulence follows statistical laws that describe how energy moves through space. In Kolmogorov's theory, large swirls of energy break down into smaller and smaller eddies in a cascading pattern. And when scientists analyzed the luminance, or brightness levels, of Van Gogh's sky, they found patterns that matched the Kolmogorov scaling law. It's as if Van Gogh, through instinct and emotion, painted the invisible mathematics of the universe. This wasn't a one-time coincidence. Researchers also found similar turbulence-like patterns in other Van Gogh works. Wheatfield with Crow's Road with Cypress and Star, the Starry Night over the Rhone. The pattern appears most clearly during his most emotionally intense periods. So, when his mental state was fragile and his creativity at its peak. Ironically, his psychological turbulence may have made him more sensitive to visual patterns that mirror real turbulence in nature. So, how did Van Gogh see turbulence? He didn't have a telescope. He didn't have a physics textbook. But he had something else: extraordinary perceptual sensitivity. Some scholars suggest that Van Gogh had a form of synesthesia, a neurological condition that links senses together. He may have felt motion in a more intense physical way than most of us. Combine this with his obsession with nature, his deep emotional struggles, and his unique brushwork, and you get a visual language that intuitively captures the mathematics of nature. What does this tell us? It tells us that art and science are not opposites. They are two ways of trying to understand the world. Starry Night is not a scientific diagram, but it shows us something that science only proved decades later: that the universe moves in spirals, in currents, in waves of invisible order. And Van Gogh, with no equations, no data, painted that order by hand, driven by feeling alone. So, is the sky in Starry Night based on mathematics? Not by intention, but perhaps by intuition. Van Gogh gave us a painting of emotion, but within it, he unknowingly captured the mathematics of the cosmos. And that's what makes Starry Night more than just a masterpiece. It's a mystery, a bridge between heart and reason, and proof that sometimes beauty reveals truths long before science can explain them.